Good morning, guys.
असती ना अर्धा अर्धा डिस्टन्स पण नाही स्टार्ट केली ना तू खोलीच्या बाहेर पडपर्यंत किती झोपते.
Okay, good morning, guys. We'll wait for one more minute. At 10:02, we will start our lecture. I
Good
hope.
morning, sir.
Good morning, good morning. I'm just giving one more minute, others can join. We have right now 4 people. Our attendance is day by day, it is, decreasing. Instead of increasing, we have a decrease in attendance. Anyway, but okay, so it's 10:02, and I think I will start my session because I don't want to waste any more time. Uh, so I hope I'm audible to you guys. As usual, if any doubt, any query, if I'm not audible, anything is there, kindly let me know in the comment section. Okay, I'm just putting a note that I hope I'm audible. In case I'm not audible, you should be able to see in the chat. Okay, so I will start today's session. Today is the last lecture for the unit number 2. That means this is eighth lecture, and today we will do take a numerical on design of flange, and then we'll finish up with unit number 2, and then we'll go ahead with unit number 3 in the next lecture. Okay, so today we have gone through design procedure for flange coupling. I will again quickly, in couple of minutes, because I have a numerical lecture which is 32 minutes. So by 10:08 I should be able to start my video lecture, or I should be able to finish this conceptual part. So this is the flange, what you are seeing right now. I'm just going, this is a recap of couple of minutes. This is a flange, and we are going to design this flange, right? There is on the right hand side, there is a bushing is shown, there was bushed flange coupling, and this is a rigid coupling, and we are going to design the rigid coupling. In rigid coupling, there are main, what you can say, three parts: shaft, then coupling, and nut and bolts, right? And there is also key, which design, we already did the design for the key. So basically we have to design the shaft. That means we have to find out diameter of the shaft. Then we have to design flange coupling. So while designing, we will not do any kind of separate design. We will use empirical formulas, and we'll make sure that with those dimensions our design is safe. And then we will design nut and bolts. We'll find out how many nut and bolts are required. We'll find out diameter of those. We'll make sure those will not fail, and then we'll design keys. So this is how the design of the flange coupling will be done. So if you see this here, we have to find out diameter d, diameter of the shaft, right? Then once we know that, that's the first step we'll be doing. Then we can find out dh, diameter of the hub, outside diameter of the hub. Generally we take it as 2d. If we get d as the diameter of the shaft, we will take double of it as the diameter of the hub. Then d, capital D, is the p circle diameter of the bolts. That is, we take 3d, 3 times of the diameter, right? Length of the hub LH, if you see here, that we will take as 1.5d. Thickness of the flange here, right? We'll take half d, and this T1, thickness of the protection, we'll take it as 0.25d, right? Then we take diameter, outside diameter will be 4 times d plus this T1 on both sides, so it's 2T1, right? So it is 4 times d plus 2T1. So if the protection is not there, then this D0 is 4 times D. So we take these dimensions, and we'll make sure that this design will not fail in kind of all cases, and all the failures. So and if it is less than 40 mm, so in the first step we'll get the diameter of the shaft. If the diameter is less than 40 mm, then we'll take N as 3. From 40 to 100 we will take NS4, and for 100 to 180 we take NS6. So number of bolts are 3, 4, 6 depending on the diameter of the shaft. So first step we will be doing, we have gone through all this. So first step we will use the torque equation, and we'll or the power equation, we'll try to find out the torque, and then using that torque and the allowable shear stress we'll find the diameter of the shaft. Then we'll use this whatever formulas we saw to get the dimensions of your like your flange, and then use those dimensions to get different kinds of, we'll make sure that your different kinds of hub and all those will not fail under different criteria. Actually, I am going to recap this again while I'm taking the numerical, but I just wanted to just show you guys the formulas. Now I will again go through each of them, say step by step what are different failures we need to check and how to check them, and then we'll take a numerical. Okay, so I'm shifting my focus from now from Word document to a video. So let me just stop sharing this. Okay, after this, I am going to share you guys a video of the numerical. So in that, for first 2-3 minutes, we'll be going through the design procedure on the blackboard, and then I will take a numerical, right? So in between, if anybody gets any doubt, put that in a chat, because I am here keeping watch on the chat, or any doubts you have, you can ask me in the chat. Okay. So, and if the video is not audible, kindly let me know in the chat. Okay. So I'm sharing now video with you, and I'm starting that. Design procedure or how to. Good morning, guys. Today we will go through design procedure or how to design a flange. Right? First, we have gone through the theory part of it. We have gone through what is definition of a flange, what is flange, and why it is used. So basically, flange is a element which is used to transmit torque, right, from one shaft to another shaft. When we want to join those two shafts, and the torque needs to be transmitted, then we use some kind of coupling, and flange is one of that coupling, right? We have gone through many different types of couplings also, and we have seen the procedure for the design of a flange. So today I will take a numerical on that, but before that I just want to recap on the procedure or the process for the design of a flange coupling, right? So I just simply noted here. So right in any design, or in the whole this chapter, first we will try to find out allowable stresses, right? Allowable tau, allowable sigma sin, all those different stresses we'll try to find it out, and then at the end we will just make sure that whatever stresses we are getting in our design, those are within limits of the allowable stress, right? So that is the first step, right? In the shaft, whenever we do any design of a shaft, the procedure is like, first we will try to find out the diameter of the shaft, right? How we will find out the diameter? We will use the power equation, right? Like empty torque is equal to 16 to 10 to 6 into power in kilowatt upon 2 pi, right? So basically this is the equation of power. P is equal to 2 pi nt upon 60. It's another form of that same equation. Power is equal to 2 pi nt upon 60. So here torque is equal to, if we put Newton mm, and if we put power in kilowatt, we will get this equation. Torque mt is equal to 16 to 10 raised to 6 into power in kilowatt upon 2 pi. So with this equation, we can, if we know the power, we can find out the torque in the shaft, right? So that means torque transmitted by the flange coupling, we can find it out. And once we know the torque, we can find out, if we know allowable shear stress, we can find out the diameter of the shaft. So this is the first step of finding the diameter of the shaft, if we know the power transmitted by the shaft, right? Then we have seen that instead of doing all the calculating all the dimensions, we use some standard dimensions, right? These are the standard formula for the dimension, empirical formulas we can say, and then we, for those dimensions, will make sure that our flange coupling is safe, right? So what are those dimensions? First is diameter of the hub. Outside diameter of the hub, like the inside diameter of the hub will be equal to the diameter of the shaft. Outside diameter of the hub will be 2 of diameter. So whatever diameter of the shaft we have got, we will take double of that to get the diameter of the hub. Length of the hub will be 1.5 times of the D. 150% of the diameter will be the length of the hub. Then D is diameter, P circle diameter. we'll be putting flange. Flange will be having different number of bolts. It will be 3, 4, 5, 6, depending on the diameter of diameter of the shaft. So depending on that, we have a P circle diameter. P circle diameter will be 3 times of the diameter of the shaft we have got in the first step. So it will be take 3 times of the diameter as the PCD. Thickness of the flange will be 0.5. Of the half of that diameter will be the thickness of the your flange. This thickness, this part, right? T1, this thickness of the protection. This T1 will be 0.25 of D. Means 1/4 of the D diameter will be. So like here I have taken a sample. This is actually we are going to use it in our example numerical. But this is how the flange will look like. So right, this is the inside diameter D. That is diameter of the shaft. It's visible, right? H visible. It's inside diameter of the shaft. This is outside diameter of the hub. DH. This is LH. Will be 1.5 times of the D. D will be the P circle diameter here. This is the P circle diameter. Then T thickness of the flange, thickness of the protection is T1, and then DR, and then we have DR will be 1.5 times of the D, and D0, which is the outside diameter. This is it is 4D plus 2T1. So it is basically this diameter is 4D plus T1 and T1. So it is basically 4D plus 2T1 will be the dimensions of the flame. So this is how we will find out the dimensions of the flame, and then we will make sure that now we have got hub, flange, and nut bolts, right, and keys. We'll make sure that those parts will not fail, or the stresses in those parts for the dimensions we have finalized. The stresses in those parts are within limits. So first thing we will try to find out hub. Now the hub will be, as we have discussed, like it will undergo torsional shear stress, right? So for that, tau is equal to mt r upon j. Mt is the torque we have calculated in the first step. So it will go under torsional shear stress. This is the simple torsional equation. Mt upon j is equal to tau upon r, right? So here we know r, we know mt, we know j. J is equal to basically this is we'll consider it as a cylinder or hollow shaft. So it is pi into d h raised to 4 minus d raised to 4 upon 32, right? So if we know J, MT and R, then we can find out torque, right? The shear stress, and that shear stress should be within the allowable limits or whatever limits we have calculated in the first step. Now we have completed the hub. Now we try to see in the flange. Now flange will again undergo shear, but it will be the shear like this on the cylinder, like so. That will be the shear stress will be 2 mt upon pi ds square. We have seen that day that it will undergo shears around its circumference. So it will be 2 mt upon pi ds square t. That is the tau, right? And so with this we know ds, we know mt, we know t. So we can find out the shear stress in the flange, and we will make sure that those are within the limits. Now diameter of the bolt. Now we have to find out. We know the PCD of the bolt. We have to find out number of bolts and diameter of the bolt. Right. So the number of bolts, whatever we are having, those number of bolts, yes, it will be 3 or 4 or it will be 5, 6. That will depend on the diameter. If the diameter is between 40 to 100, then the number of bolts will be taking 4. If it is more than that, it will take 5, 6. Less than the 40, it will take 3 bolts. So those number of bolts we calculate first, and then once we know the number of bolts, we know MT, we know D, N, tau, we can calculate the diameter of the bolt, right? And once we know the diameter of the bolt, that bolt will, this is the calculation of the diameter based on the shear strength, right? So we'll make sure that it will again not fail in the crushing. So for that we use sigma c is equal to MT upon N D1T multiplied by capital D. And we'll make sure that it will not fail in the crushing. And then we'll use the design of the keys, like rectangular or square key. We'll try to calculate the length. So this is the procedure for the design of a flange coupling, right? So I will just try to now go through the numerical, right? Okay, just make sure that everything is visible to you guys. Okay, so I will just try to go through the numerical. But for that, we will just whatever general procedure we follow, we'll try to go through the numerical, and then we will try to. While going to numerical only, we will try to go through whatever information we are getting. Okay. So a rigid flange. Now, so I am going through the numerical. We'll first note down whatever is they have given, and then we will try to find out this part. So for this part, diameter of the shaft, dimensions of the flange, and make sure that the flange is not failing. Okay. So rigid flange coupling connects two shafts input shaft transfers the power. So we have given power is equal to 37.5 kilowatt, right? And RPM N is given as voltage diameter. So two things are given. So in this first equation we know kilowatt power and we know N, we can calculate torque. And once we know the torque, we can calculate the diameter if we know the allowable shear stress. So that we will see in the second part. So we have given power and we have given RPM N, right? So now we have service factor of the application is 1.5. So now this is for something new. Service factor is what? That it is design torque is 1.5 times of the rated torque. So whatever torque we are going to get, we have to take 1.5 times of that torque for the design, right? So from this equation, from the power equation, we will get some torque multiplied by that 1.5 for your design, so that your design is more safe, right? You know, the diameter will be larger and your design will be more safe. So we have to use service factor of 1.5. We will use that in the power equation. We will use the equation empty equation. Okay. Now we have to do the design of the coupling for different materials. So different. Now there are what are the different parts? Shaft. Then there is a flange, and then there are bolts, and there will be keys. So these will be different four parts: shaft, coupling, nut and bolts, and keys. So for the different materials, they have given different properties, and we have to use those with different materials and different factor of safety, and we have to use those for different designs, right? So what we will do, instead of writing all these given properties, we will calculate allowable shear stress and sigma c for these, and then we will put those in the given, right? So that way we will save our some effort. Okay. So let's try to solve this problem. First we will find out what are different allowable stresses, right? The first step of any design, what we do, we try to find allowable stresses, right? This is the first step we will do. We try to find out what are different by from the given stresses, what are different allowable stresses, or these are permissible stresses, right? Allowable or permissible. Okay. So let's first for shaft. So we will write shaft, right? Tau is equal to 0.5, which is the standard permeability upon factor of safety. So we use 0.5 of 380, it's 190 upon factor of safety is 2.5. So 190 upon 2.5, so what it comes to? 76 Newton per mm square. So for shaft, we know tau is equal to 76 Newton per mm square. So we know one now for shaft. For keys and bolt, right? This is for keys and bolt, right? Whatever is given? No. For keys and bolts, tau will be again same thing. Tau will be 0.5 SYT upon factor of 60, but the SYT is different here. It is 400, 0.5 into 400, and factor of 60 is 2.5. This 200 and 2.5 will be 80. Let me just verify. 80 Newton per mm square. Tau is equal to 80 Newton per mm square. Okay. Again, now this keys and bolts will also undergo compressive or crushing failure, right? So that will be it was given that it is 1.150 times. This thing is sigma c is 150 times of SYT. So we take sigma c is equal to 1.5 of SYT upon factor of safety. So whatever we are, this SYT upon factor of safety is the normal sigma T we will find, calculate generally. Sigma T is equal to SYT upon factor of safety. Multiplied by that 1.5 because they have given compressive strain or the crushing strain is 150 times of the SYT, right? So we calculate that as 1.5 into 400 upon factor of safety is given as factor of safety for sigma c is given. I think it is given 2.5 only. Yes, 2.5. So this is 600 upon 2.5. 600 2.5 will be what? 500 200 into 40, I think. 40. So for keys, this is where we are calculating sigma c for keys and bolts, right? Because there we will be using sigma c 240 Newton per mm square. Okay. Now what is third part? So we have allowable for shaft, our this thing is done for keys, and now we have to do for the flanges. We have to find out allowable resistance tau. Right? Okay. Now for again same formula. This is 200.5 into 200 upon factor of 56. So it will be 100 upon 6. Right? Is it so low? Yeah, it is 16.67. 16.67. Like this, because that is the part which will be failing, we will be having less allowable stress. So, from the given materials, for see generally sometimes you have given same material, but if the different materials are given, you have to use different. What you can say? We have to calculate it separately. So now we have got for shaft, for key and bolts, and for flange, we have calculated allowable stress. Right? Now, what we first thing we will be doing is finding out the diameter of the shaft. Once we know the diameter of the shaft, we can calculate other dimensions and we can see whether this thing is failing or not. Right? Just move a little. Okay. Okay. So first thing, now we know power, we know number of RPM, and we know all the stresses. So we will calculate now first thing. Now we'll start our design procedure, right? First thing is finding out the diameter of the shaft. How we find out that? For that we use the formula tau equal to 16 mt upon pi d cube, right? That is the general formula we use, 16 mt upon. For that we need to know mt, that is torque, and torque formula is mt equal to 60 into 10 to 6 into power in kilowatt multiplied divided by n, and this will be multiplied by 1.5 because we have given the torque for the design has to be 150% more or 150% extra, 150% of the rated torque, right? So that means 1.5 times of this design torque we will. So with this we will get the actual torque, which we are going to design is more than the ideal torque, right? So this is design torque. So it will be 60 into 10 to 6 into kilowatt is 37.5 into 1.5 upon 2 pi into 180. Okay, so this will be the torque, right? So we'll calculate this. It will give us torque in the flange, or torque in the torque transmitted by the shaft, which comes down to 2984,155. 2984,155. This also always will get Newton mm. That's why we have 10 raised to 6 Newton mm and power is kilowatt. So this is, so it is 2984,155 Newton mm. So once we got the torque, we can calculate the diameter of the shaft. How? Now we know the torque transmitted by the shaft or flange. How we can calculate diameter of the shaft? Tau is equal to 60 mt upon pi d cube. Here tau is, we know for the shaft tau is 6076. 60 into mt is 2984,155 upon pi d cube. Can we find out d with this? Let me just see. I will get d as 58.48. So we get diameter 58.48. So this is diameter of the shaft. So we take diameter as 60 mm. So this is the first very important basic thing. We calculated diameter of the shaft as 60 mm. So now we know for our flange, for the given rated power, to transmit the power of 37.5 Newton kilowatt with the RPM of 180. Our diameter of the shaft has to be 60 mm. Okay. Now we'll go to the next part. That is finalizing the dimensions of the flange. So dimensions of flange. There are 6 dimensions, right? So first dimension is diameter of the hub. This is outside diameter, which is 2d. 2 into 60 will be 120 mm. Then DLH, length of the hub will be 1.5 times 2 into 1.5 into 60 will be 90 mm. Then D circle diameter will be 3 times of 60, that is 1 into mm. That is 3 circle diameter. Thickness of the plane 0.5, half of the diameter, that is 0.5 of 60. The thickness of the plane is 30 mm. Thickness of the protective ring 0.25 D, 1/4 as I said, into 60, that is 15 mm. DR 1.5 times 3, that is 1.5 times 60, 90 mm. And D0, outside diameter of the plane is 4D plus 2T1. 4D is 4 into 60 plus T1 is how much we have got? 15. So 30. So this is 240. So 270 mm. Okay. So let me write down this. DH 120 mm. LH 90 mm. D 180 mm. T 30 mm. T1 15 mm. And D0 270 mm. So these are the dimensions of the plane. Now we will make sure that it is not filling in at the output. With this dimension, so now see, I have drawn a diagram of this flange. I don't know whether it is visible to you guys. I will rotate my phone a little bit. So now this same flange, see now this is a flange with inside diameter of the hub, or which is basically the diameter of the shaft as 60 mm, that is D. Okay, this is the diameter of the shaft or inside diameter of the hub. Outside diameter is 120 DH. Fine. Then we have LH, length of the hub is 90. So this is 30 mm flange, 30 mm this protection, and this extra 30 mm. This total length is 90. Okay. The diameter of the P circle diameter, this diameter where the bolts are there will be 180. Then T will be thickness 30. This thickness is 15. Thickness of this ring, and then D0 270. This is outside diameter of the flange is 270. This from here to here is 270. Okay. So you got a clear picture of. Now we know the dimensions. We have drawn the diagram also. Now we'll make sure that all these dimensions are safe. That it will not fail. Our flange will not fail under different failures. Right. So now this is very simple. So with the dimension we'll check first flange. Now first torsional shear in the hub. Then we'll check shear stress in the flange, diameter of the bolts, and the dimensions of the design of the beam. So first thing we have to do is the torsional shear stress in hub. Now check torsional shear stress in hub. First hub number, what is the formula? Tau is equal to this is torsional equation MCR called J, where J is equal to pi into, this is cylindrical, we are considering d h raised to 4 minus d raised to 4 upon 32. Now see, this is here we are assuming that our hub is a hollow cylinder, dh is outside diameter of the hub, d is inside diameter of the hub or diameter of the shaft, and this is simple polar moment of inertia. This is equation for polar moment of inertia, J, right? And here we will take R is equal to dh by 2. So we can calculate J with pi into dh is 120 raised to 4 minus d raised to 4. D is 60 raised to 4 upon 32. So we'll get J as polar moment of inertia 19,085 175. 19,085 175. This is mm raised to 4, right? This is diameter raised to 4. And dh is equal to dh by 2. Dh is 120 upon 2 This is 68. So we know R, we know this J, we know torque, we calculated that already. So we can put all these in here to get the shear stress, torsion shear stress in the hub. So we'll put that MT is equal to 20984 155. R we just got 60 and J we got, I haven't noted it down. So J we got is as 19,085 175. 19,085 175. That's correct. Okay, so with that we'll get tau. This is tau, and answer is 16.67 Newton per meter. Tau we are getting answer as 9.38. So shear stress in hub, this part. Shear stress in hub is 9.38 and allowable shear stress in hub is this. This is a flame, right? Hub is actually part of a flame. So which is less than 16.67 Newton per mm square. So design is there. So your hub will not fail. Design is there. Right? So we did the first part, that finding out the torsion shear stress in the hub by using formula tau equal to MTR upon J. We take J is equal to pi dh raised to 4 minus d raised to 4 upon 32 and R is equal to dh by 2. So use that. With that we just verified that our hub will not fail in torsion. Now next step. Now shear stress is the flange. Now this part. Here, shear stress is the flange, right? Here we use the formula tau is equal to 2 mt upon pi dh raised to 2 into t. So here we know torque, we know dh, we know t. We can find out t. 2 into mt 2984 155 pi dh, I think we have got 120 square into t we have got as 30. Let me just verify the numbers. 229, okay, fine. Okay, fine. So we get 4.40 Newton per mm square. Again, this is a flange which is part of this. So allowable is 16.6. This tau is less than 16.67. So your flange is safe. You can say our design of flange is safe. Okay. So we did the first part. We did the torsion shear failure of the hub, then the shear failure of the flange. Now we will try to find the design of the bolts. Right. First, in the design of the bolts, we have to do two steps. First, design of the bolt, number of bolts, and then we have to find out diameter of the bolt, right? So for that, n is basically our diameter is, if it is diameter is 40 and d is less than 100, and our diameter is 60. So for that, n is equal to 4. So number of bolts are 4. So we'll take number of bolts as 4, and we'll try to find out diameter. D1 is the diameter of the bolt. D1 is equal to 8 mb upon 5 d and t. Here, and tau. Mt is the torque in the transmitted by the flange. D is the piece of the diameter, number of bolts, allowable shears. So we know all this. 8 into 2984 155 upon 5 piece of the diameter we have calculated as 180. Number of bolts is 4 and allowable shear stress for, now this is the figure of the bolts. So for bolts allowable shear is 80. Okay. So d1 square is equal to 8 180 480. Okay. So we get d is equal to 11.49. d1 is equal to 11.49. So we'll say diameter of the bolt is 12 mm. So we'll take 4 bolts of the diameter d1. Okay, that's fine. d1 is equal to 12 mm. So we'll take 4 bolts of diameter 12 mm, right? So now we know that number of bolts are 4. We'll just try to find out the crushing failure of the whether the boat will be safe in the crushing failure. So sigma c is equal to 2 mt upon n d1 ed. Here we know 2 mt is equal to 2984 155 upon number of moles is 4, d1 is diameter we just calculated 12, right? D is 30 and D is 180. Okay, let me verify the number 4 to 30 180. Okay, fine. So with that we will get sigma c I equal to 23.03 and our allowance here crushing is 240, which is less than 240 Newton per mm square. So now we can say bolts are safe in crushing. Right? So this is the way we will do the design. First we did the finding out the diameter of the shaft using the torque equation and then shear stress equation. Then we try to find out the dimensions of different parts of the flange. And once we know the dimensions, we have to check different failures. First, we check the hub for the torsional shear failure. Then we check the flange for the shear failure, right? Then we designed the bolt number of we found out number of bolts, and then for those bolts we have found out the diameter of the bolts using the shear stress failure, and then for that those diameter the diameter we have found for the bolt, we have checked whether it will be safe in the I'm sorry, crushing or not, right? So this is the way we will be designing a flange coupling. Okay, and after that, last day will be with finding out the dimensions of the keys. By finding out the length of the so now here the length of the key will be length of the hub. So length of the key will be equal to LH, which is equal to 19. So we know the length of the key will be 90 mm. We will do standard 18 by 11 mm. So here there is 18 by 11 mm key. So the cross section of the key is like this. Length is 90 and 18 and 11. This is how we are using the key. And so we'll find out, simply two equations. We have two equations for the key, right? We know that tau is equal to, I think, 2 mt upon, that is the equation 2 mt upon dBl, and this again sigma c is equal to, I think, 4 mt upon dhl, right? dBl and dhl, am I right? Yes. So here we know mt, we know dBl, we get shear stress is equal to 61.4 Newton per mm square, sorry, and sigma is 200.95 Newton per mm square, and for key this shear stress is less than, this is allowable is 80, so this is less than 80 Newton per, so this is safe, and this is less than 240, which is safe. So our keys, if we design the key of 18 by 11 into length, whatever length of the hub is 90, for that key will be with this putting all those values, we will get this is shear stress in the key, this is crushing stress, and these are less than the allowable stresses. So our key will be also same. So this is the how we will do design of a flange. Okay, guys. So that was the lecture. So I hope you have understood the concept of flange coupling and all the whatever we did in the second unit from the design of the shaft with the basic design, ASME design, the design for the torsional rigidity, lateral rigidity. Then we did design of keys, then couplings. So I hope you have got the concept of it. If you have any kind of doubt, you can put me a message in WhatsApp, or I will be sharing my all the details, my notes and everything as I did. All those are in the Google class, but I'll be uploading those notes and videos, everything in the Google class. So uh, so we have concluded with unit number 2, and from next lecture we'll start with unit number 3. Okay. So okay, thank you guys.